Hello and welcome. Today we're going to dive into a concept that's absolutely fundamental to understanding language: multiple control. You can think of it as the hidden blueprint that explains why our speech is so incredibly rich, nuanced, and complex. Let's get right into it.
So, have you ever really stopped to think about why human language is so, fluid and adaptive? It's not just a simple one-to-one exchange, is it? The answer, it turns out, lies in this idea of multiple control, which is exactly what we're going to break down today.
Here's our plan. We'll start by defining multiple control, then we'll look at its two main types, convergent and divergent. After that, we'll use a pretty cool analogy to help tie it all together, and finally, we'll explore why this concept is so important in the real world.
Okay, first things first. Let's get a really clear handle on what we're talking about.
So, what exactly is multiple control? The formal definition is that it happens when a single verbal response, so anything we say, is influenced by more than one controlling variable at the exact same time. Now, a controlling variable is simply any factor that influences our speech, like what we see, what we want, or what someone just said to us. The bottom line is, it's rare that only one thing makes us speak. It's almost always a combination of factors.
And here's a great way to make this more intuitive. Think of verbal behavior like a group project. You have one final outcome, the words you say, but so many different factors, like your motivation, what you see, or what you just heard, all contribute to that final result.
All right, now that we have the basic idea, let's break it down into its two main types. First up, we have convergent control, which is all about a many-to-one relationship. Convergent control is when multiple variables come together or converge to produce just one single verbal response. These variables can be things like what we call motivating operations, or MOs. That's just a term for something you want or need. And they can also be discriminative stimuli, or SDs, which are basically cues in the environment that signal a certain response is a good idea. In this case, you have many inputs leading to one single output.
This example makes it crystal clear. Imagine a child sees a cookie. That's a nonverbal cue in the environment, an SD. At the very same time, the child is hungry and wants the cookie. That's the motivating operation, or MO. Both of these variables converge, and the result is a single response, cookie. That one word is doing double duty. It's both a label for what the child sees and a request for what they want.
Okay, let's move to the other side of the coin and look at the second type of multiple control, divergent control. This one flips the script completely to a one-to-many relationship.
Divergent control is basically the opposite of convergent control. It's when a single stimulus or antecedent variable leads to a whole variety of different but related verbal responses. So in this case, it's one input and many outputs.
For example, if I say the word farm, what comes to your mind? You might think of cows, pigs, barn, or tractor. You see? That single stimulus, the word farm, triggers this whole network of related words. That's divergent control right there in action.
So let's just recap that key distinction. In convergent control, many different variables, like wanting a cookie and seeing a cookie, all point toward a single response, cookie. In divergent control, one variable, like the word farm, branches out and unlocks many potential responses, like cows, pigs, and barn. They really are perfect opposites.
Now, to really help this stick, let's use a powerful analogy that brings both of these concepts together: the symphony of language.
I want you to imagine a full orchestra. In this analogy, each instrument represents a different controlling variable. Things like what you see, what you want, or what someone just said. The sound they produce, the musical note, is your verbal response.
So, in this symphony, convergent control is like many different instruments all playing the same note together. Think back to our cookie example. The wanting the cookie violin and the seeing the cookie trumpet both play the same note, cookie. The result is one strong, unified sound. Divergent control, on the other hand, is like one solo instrument playing a series of different notes. That single instrument, our one stimulus, like hearing the word farm, is responsible for creating a variety of different sounds or responses, almost like a melody.
This is all really fascinating from a theoretical standpoint, but let's bring it back to the real world. Why does understanding multiple control actually matter?
Well, understanding multiple control is absolutely crucial for a few big reasons. First, it explains the incredible complexity of language in the real world.
It shows us that speech is so much more than just a list of labels. It's a dynamic interplay of factors. Second, for educators and clinicians, this concept is key to designing more effective language teaching strategies. By using multiple cues, we can create much richer learning environments. And finally, it allows for a more accurate analysis of behavior, because it acknowledges that a single response rarely has just one single cause.
So, we'll leave you with a final thought. Now that you can see the messiness, this whole symphony of variables behind our words, how does it change the way you think about your own conversations? The next time you speak, consider all the instruments that came together to produce that single note. It's a fascinating way to view our own verbal behavior.